Alright guys, welcome back. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about what stuff I enjoy in the game. What are some of my favorite game modes, why I like those game modes, and where I think, people have some issues, and what some ideas could be of maybe how to adjust those things in the future, even though I don't think anyone at Kabam is listening to me, but these are just some of the ideas that I am thinking of. So, first off, yes, let's go through this. If we go with story mode, I think they've definitely made some improvements. I know Act Six was has a lot of gates, a lot of restrictions, a lot of difficult and annoying content that I actually, when I did it the second time around on my second account, I waited until I think I probably was in between doing, between the Act 7s coming out, between Act 7 1, 7 2, 7 3, I would go back and finish off Act 6 as I got a bigger roster with more champions that were specifically ranked up to take down that content. Act 7 I have found to be a lot more enjoyable, specifically because you can go in and you can use you have different bosses, so you don't get stuck doing the same one over and over again. Plus, you can swap in a champion before the boss for a boss counter, which just is basically like having a sixth champion on your roster. So whether you want to bring in a utility champion, someone with a pre-fight, or bring in someone just specifically for the boss, I find that so much more enjoyable, and I like what they've been doing with Act 7. It's been much better for me than Act 6. There's still going to be like unique paths, things that you need to strategize. Some you're not going to be able to just take in one champion necessarily and go through everything. You're going to need still a variety of characters, and that's part of the game, is picking. I always like to rank up characters specifically to take down content. And yes, you can get roadblocked at certain points, but then that might actually, if you're just starting the game and you're roadblocked on a poison path or a bleed path, and you don't have a champion, specific champion that's immune to that one, and you pull one, it might not be the greatest champion, it might not be the top tier character that everyone has ranked up, but if it gets you past that roadblock, then that could be then that's worth ranking up for you at the time. It might not end up being the greatest character moving forward, but when you're stuck at that situation, there's so many characters now that are in the game that you're not limited to, oh man, there's only one champion that I can pull that gets me there, but you've got a variety of champions. So even if the end game players don't have them ranked up or don't use them all the time, it doesn't matter, because that's something that can help you at that moment get past that roadblock. So even as I've started, because I've been playing for years, there are so many times where I'm looking for someone, especially after doing it twice on two different accounts. I have different champions ranked up on each of them. Some that I have, and I have some ranked up on one account that I don't have on the other. And someone like Blade carried me through a ton of early content on my main account, and I never had Blade ranked up at all. I didn't get Blade till I was way past the need for him on my second account, but still managed to get through it. Just means I had other characters that could do the job instead. Might not have been as good, or it was just a different way to take it, a different strategy, which is what I find is fun about the game. Now let's go on to event quests. So event quests, I know that some of the problems are, there's always like two sides. Some people want harder content, and some people don't like it when the content gets too hard because they expect it to be easier. And I find that even the Cavalier nodes, as they have changed every month, you still, again, it involves a little bit of strategy. Maybe the tech champion that you were using for 1 month doesn't work, or maybe, yes, I don't like the way that you can't really search through like multiple like hashtags. So hashtags is maybe not the greatest way to sort out your champions, but again, it's another way of saying, okay, what champion is sitting on my roster that I'm not using, that maybe ranking up that champion is going to help me next time I see that node. Or a lot of times for me, I've got expiring items and I want to see, well, who can I rank up? Maybe there's a 5-star or a 6-star that I can take to rank 4 or rank 2, and that one is actually going to help me a lot better than some of my max champions in that content for that month, and then I'll have that champion to use next time those nodes come around. Because just because we see a node that in event quest for the first time, that means maybe it's going to be a node that shows up in story mode, or maybe it's a node that shows up in incursions, or maybe it's a node that shows up in a future side quest. So to me, having certain counters or knowing that I can rank up certain champions, that's the fun part for me. It's the bit of strategy that gets involved that makes it fun. It's not always going to be, it shouldn't be a cakewalk every single time, right? You want to have to be like a little bit of, you don't want to read a whole encyclopedia to figure out that, you don't want to block specials on that champion, or you don't want to throw heavy attacks here, or you don't want to do that here. That's fine. I understand that can be frustrating, but sometimes you don't want to necessarily just go in and cakewalk it the entire time. So, same thing with side quests. I do prefer side quests that like this that you can do, even though they come out throughout the month, that you can go back and there's no time dependent. That's the only thing that I don't like about the side quests. I don't like a daily side quest. Even the ones where you can get ones where you have to do something every single day to get a ticket and then go in and then and you can save those tickets. But like, I don't like stuff that you necessarily have to do daily. I like stuff where, I could sit down in one sitting, knock out a few paths, another day, wait a few days, come back. There's no pressure to go every single day. That's what I personally like. I don't like the daily task that gets me a ticket. That means then I can go in and do it. I like this where it's just, okay, I can go in and I can run, the couple paths that I need to. And again, for a side quest that usually has some nice rewards, it's nice that if I don't have somebody on, let's say I didn't have a counter to a boss on week 1, I have another couple, like 3 weeks to rank somebody up that I can go back in and be like, okay, now I got someone that can take out that content. So I do appreciate these type of side quests better. Next, I guess let's jump into Alliance Quest. Now, Alliance Quest, I think one of the things that bothers me the most, I guess, is that your overall rewards are really based on prestige. And I'm not a huge fan of prestige. I'd almost like to see some type of skill. I know we've slowly added in like a skill element where you have different, the different mods that you can put in that are going to, have harder nodes on top of what you already have. But like, for example, when we do map 8, at the moment, I don't think there are mods for map 8, but the only thing that's different between, my alliance running map 8 when we did it and the top tier is prestige. And that's the only thing that's pushing them from getting more rewards than everybody else. Now, I know that you do want something at the top to say, okay, you're the best, let's say, at it, but it does make it so that the guys who are spending specifically on prestige and being able to pick up every 6 stone that comes available and everything, it's a lot of pressure on them to do that, but then they can go ahead and without actually necessarily competing really against someone else, right? Because it's just you against the map, and if you have the highest prestige in the game, then you're guaranteed to get these top rewards, and you're going to end up with the rank 4 rank up materials before everybody else. Now, I don't know if there's something that can be done where like prestige is not such. I don't like prestige. I've never been a big fan of it because it's I don't like the idea of forcing players to rank up champions that they're not going to use just because it puts an artificial number, next to their name that says, okay, I'm now at 15,000 prestige, and it's making yes, it works for the entire alliance, but if I'm never going to use that champion, I would not want to put my resources into it, even though, again, by doing that, you're getting yourself access to those resources again. So I think that, and that becomes a lot of pressure on people at the top to do that. So more pressure on them to spend, more pressure on them to rank up specific champions, and I know that spending is part of the what keeps the game going, but it's not necessarily the most fun to me. So when I just try not to think about it. I always think that there's going to be a gap. I'm not going to be at the top, and slowly but surely you can make your way there. I'm sure guys, for a long time had prestige way higher. There's still prestige way higher than mine, and tons of guys that are way lower than mine. And over time, I can slowly rank up champions to get my prestige to where it is. So I don't know if there's something that can be done there, but I know it's a lot of pressure on people at the top to keep up with that, and I can see how that can be discouraging when, getting a whole bunch of greater gifting crystals all of a sudden gets, can put you way over the top in terms of sig stones and rank up materials. But again, I don't lose an ounce of sleep over that. I do not treat myself. I don't. If you're in the, even if you're in the throne breaker, an endgame player, if you're not fighting out for that top spot in Alliance Quest, you shouldn't be thinking about it at all. In my opinion, it's just not. It's not worth it, because again, you need 30 people who are all willing to do that, and I'm never gonna put myself in that position. And again, that's just my opinion. But again, in general, Alliance Quest, I do like the idea of some strategy involved. In, there are a whole bunch of new lanes and new bosses that they put in. And again, means that I might have to bring someone in that's different, another potential rank up. I know personally I'm looking for Kitty Pryde. I think Kitty Pryde's going to be a lot of fun to try out. Maybe swap a path with an alliance, with a teammate in map 8 the next time we run it. And maybe I'll have some new stuff to show on the channel as well there. But those are some of my thoughts there. I know I'm just kind of going from one topic to the other. And then we have Alliance Wars. And Alliance Wars, I know it's not the same thing as Prestige. It's more of like, when it first came out, they kind of put everyone into a pot. Everyone kind of battled it out, and you get stuck into your tiers. Now when you kind of join Alliance War right now, your tier is pretty much already set, and it does become very difficult to move up, but it is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, things in the game, because it's pure strategy in terms of how many, for me at least, can I finish my path, how many minis can I take the boss, what champions can I bring in. I know that there's going to be new wrinkles with bans, which I could have the exact same experience because I'll have the same champions, and if certain champions that I like to use get banned, I'm going to have to either go back to some previous strategies or completely new strategies for certain encounters. And it might involve a little bit more coordinating amongst our battle group, but it should still be a lot of fun. And again, because it's so hard to push into the top, and because the top is all full of higher ranked defenders, because you have the guys who have all the rank 4s, just like before they were the ones with the rank 3s, they were the ones with the rank 2s, right? I'm just not going to put myself in that. I never think about myself in that same category, right? You can push as hard as your alliance can if all 30 guys are willing to do it. We were in Platinum 4, and then we pushed our way up to Platinum 3. I know I used to play, we're in, I guess, Tier 3 at the moment. I know when, I think when Alliance Wars first started, I was in a Tier 1 alliance for a long time. And, and again, the pressure gets to you in terms of getting everyone on board. At a certain point, you start to fall off. I switch alliances, and then we start building up again. So I'm still having a lot of fun in Alliance War, and I hope to have a lot more Alliance War videos for you guys this season. Another piece of content that I like a lot is Incursions. And some of the reasons why I like Incursions is because it also is going to let you, even if you're not doing Act 6 or Act 7, if you're doing Incursions, you're getting a taste of some node combinations that you're not going to get anywhere else, and they're pretty crappy node combinations sometimes, very difficult, but you get a chance to see what champions work against those node combinations, and I think that's like a lot of fun. Even if you don't, I don't treat it so much as like a super competitive, but it's a lot of like extreme practicing, right? Like, yes, I did when it was first available, where if you made there was a milestone in the game where if you made it to zone I think 20. I think it was just zone 20. I don't think I've ever gone past there. But if you got to zone 20, then you had a milestone where you got some extra rewards. And I did that. I played both of my counts together, and I did get to zone 20. But in general, when if you look here, the thing completely resets in a day, and then I'll do just once every 5 days. I'll do incursions. So the first set of 5 days, I'll run zone 7 with someone for 10 rooms, and then the next 5 days later, I'll try and usually go sector 8 as high as I can go. Try and get to at least 10 to get all the artifacts. See, this round I didn't even go to room 11, and that's fine. There's a little bit of extra 6-star shards that I could grab, but again, you're working with another player. So that can be a lot of fun when you work with other people. But again, it's a lot of fun strategy, and it's a lot of fun practice in terms of getting used to certain node combinations. Some will drive you crazy. But again, you'll also find out you get to test out maybe some ramp up characters, some new characters, see what interactions work out really well. But I like incursions. So even after I'll do like the first 5 days, I'll try and get all sector 7. The second 5 days, I'll do a run just for sector 8, and then afterwards, sometimes again when I'm in tier 1, I'm an end game player, and I can just in 5 rooms of sector 8, I can get the milestones just to grab the artifacts. Now again, it's a great spot if you need gold, lots of gold sitting in incursions. Even if you're a new player and you go in and you want to you'll move up pretty quickly as you grab. I can see here there is a spot where you can see where can I get to it? Reward tiers over here. So here has a chance to see what amount of champions you need. Like when you're in tier 8, tier 7, you need a couple 3 stars. Then you do need a couple 4 stars before you can start really moving up in incursions. But again, once you're there, it is a nice source of rewards for you. If I go out of here, I do like personally I just use the incursions artifacts in order to grab some 6-star shards. If I go to the store, I've already saved up I already used my incursions artifacts, and I can get like 6,000 shards easy when it resets. But again, you could grab a 5-star if you're earlier on in the game and there's a 5-star. It's a 10% chance to get the 5-star you want out of these crystals. So it's probably the highest percentage chance. So if you're looking for something specific, like you need Human Torch, 10% chance to get him as a 5-star here, you're not going to have a better shot, percentage-wise than these incursions crystals. If you're someone that's just always, if you're running low on ISO, grab some 4-star crystals out of here. right? And you've unlimited amount of 4-star here. Even a 5-star hero crystal, you could go ahead and grab it if you want. A basic one, but again, if you play Incursions just once every 5 days, there's tons of rewards that you can get. So I highly suggest to get started on Incursions. If you're not doing it already, try it out. I know that's maybe earlier on it can be really difficult when you're doing the random matchups, but even when I have a higher end account, you only get matched up with a higher end account. So most likely, if you get someone matched up that's similar to you, then you can go ahead and knock out a few rooms. Sometimes I can't get anyone in my alliance, and I realize I have a day left, and maybe I already ran Incursions with my my second account, so I'll go ahead and just find a random person, and I've been pretty successful with that. I don't think I've had someone bail on me in forever. So again, those are just the things that I am, some of the things that I enjoy in the game. I don't know what is your favorite things to play, what game modes, but I personally, again, I enjoy the new stuff when it comes out. Sometimes I know as a player who's been playing for so long, there have been definitely some pieces of content that when it came out, I did not have a fun time in, like certain side quests or certain one-off events that I just did not have the champions for at the time, and I can't remember if some of them I wasn't able to rank stuff up, or I didn't have the items to plow through it. And you just have to remember that every single month there is going to be another side quest. There are going to be more long form contents that come out, like the variants. You see everyone doing it online as soon as it becomes available. Even this variant 8, myself included, I did it fairly early on. But again, if you don't have the champions for that specific content, then and especially like things like variants, those ones are again super fun in that it gives you another goal of someone that you want to rank up. It's not always something so easy, but if we go take a look quickly at the that's another thing to talk about. It's just the other forms of long form content or permanent content here. And you sit in, and here you have, all the variants, and you can go in and do them slowly. There's so many. There are 8 now. 1 and 2 are very annoying because they have 3 quests per chapter, I believe, for the first 2, and even the third one starts getting to 2. So it gets much easier in terms of yes, they become very class specific or champion specific or hashtag specific champions as you go, whether it's mercenaries, Spider-Verse, you've got all different types of content, whether it's star levels, lots of fun stuff, which again gives you encouragement to rank up certain champions even at different star levels to beat certain content. And that's some of the stuff that I enjoy. And again, that's just part of the fun. For me, that's part of the fun of the game. There is so much out there. You can't all beat it all at once. And as more champions become available, there are more options that are going to help you go through it. I just posted some videos where I took a newer champion back to some old content and had a much easier time. And again, 6-star rank 3s weren't available at the time, and certain characters were not available at the time, so you're stuck with whatever's there. But stuff is, if it's permanent content, then there shouldn't be, unless you really need something that you have to push your way through, you can wait to get a champion that's going to help you a lot better to get through that content. And then, of course, we have these special quests, which, again, if you have the right champions to go through it, then you can get through it. But again, there's so much to do in the game at the moment. If you're like a new player, mid-game player, even some end game players now, you can get so many more rewards now. Yes, I did Abyss 100% on this main account, but when I go back and look at some rewards, I did the completion on my second account, but I'm not necessarily in such a rush to do exploration, right? I can get bits and pieces of the same rewards, whether it was from gifting, whether it's from side quests, new content every month. Both my accounts at the moment. Again, I can't. It's hard for me to pick up so many champions that I want to rank up at the same times that I'm picking up the rank up materials that I'm sitting here picking up. You know, Using my glory to pick up like 2% tier 5 class fragment crystals. Now, I'm not necessarily a proponent of hoarding too much, but I just don't need them at the moment. As soon as I have the next champion, so for example, if I were to pull Null or Kitty Pride when I do my featured um, opening, and I want to go ahead and I'm gonna need you know I'm going to need rank up materials here, and I'm short, then I can go ahead and I can pop some 10% Nexus ones, or I can pop a whole bunch of 2%ers, or I've got a whole bunch of 5%ers, or some 25%ers even that I can use. And if I want to take someone up and I didn't have the rank of the T5, so then I can do it, because you only can have 2 of them in the inventory. So I do not want to get stuck where I was forced to rank up somebody by chance that I didn't have already, right? So here I only have 2 T5 CCs at the moment, probably because I'm thinking about those two characters. But as slowly as I get them, I'll fill up the other ones, and if I get someone that I really want, then I'll pop those crystals. But I think that pretty much touches on most pieces of content in the game. I guess the other thing is arena, but that's just grinding. If you have time and you can grind, it's your best chance of picking up more units, shards. It's more units is more items. You can save up for more of the big deals. I'm not great at that. I don't have time a lot personally for a lot of arena. But again, I'm looking forward to new content. I'm looking forward to Act 7.4. I'm looking forward to a lot more fun stuff in 2022. So if you stuck around for the whole rant, thank you very much. And I hope you have a great new year. Thanks, guys.